Listen, in our house, Aaron, my husband, has a rule that every single morning with your breakfast, you have to have 2 fruits. I don't know where this rule came from, but I think he's just like, Mary, do you just eat potatoes all day? I got to get a couple fruits into you first thing in the morning. Now, that typically pretty much always involves an apple plus whatever fruit we've got hanging around. Now, on weekdays, perfect, love it. But on weekends, I like to actually take that apple and cook it down into something totally delicious. So today, I'm gonna make it into a beautiful, puffy, glorious pancake. We are making my apple Dutch baby with apple cider syrup. I'm very excited about it. Now, fun fact, my mom is actually in the audience today, and the apple cider syrup, that's a Mary Berg, or a Myra Berg joint. I'm feeling really good about it. It's good. Mom, that's one of your recipes, right?
Oh, yes, it is.
Yes, it is. She's nodding along. She's into it. Yeah, it's really good. She usually... See, oh my gosh, and Joni's there too. She usually puts it on this delicious overnight French toast casserole thing with like cream cheese and blueberries. It's really tasty, but it's not blueberry week, it's apple week. So we're gonna get to work on that beautiful Dutch baby. All right, now to get started, I'm gonna get to work on that kind of Dutch baby pancake batter. Now, if you've ever made a Dutch baby before, it's essentially like a puffy Yorkshire pudding, but it's sweet. It's really, really tasty and simple to put together. Now, the first thing I need is 3/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour. So just give it a little bit of a fluff when you're scooping it. You don't want to be too heavy-handed with this flour because that'll weigh down this Dutch baby. Unlike a traditional kind of flapjack style pancake where you use chemical leaveners like baking soda and baking powder, this does not use those. This uses egg to leaven it, so it's gonna be fluffy and a little custardy and totally delish. Now, I'm gonna season this up with about a tablespoon of sugar. This is not typically found in a Yorkshire pudding recipe, but obviously we're going sweet and breakfasty here today. Now, into there, I'm gonna season that with about a 1/4 teaspoon of Apple's best friend, and that is cinnamon. Just a little bit of cinnamon. Cinnamon first thing in the morning, it tricks everyone into thinking you're having cinnamon buns, but you're not. You're having a Dutch baby, and that's a good thing. All right, now I'm gonna season that up with about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt as well, and give that a good whisk just to combine everything in here. Now, that's not a lot of dry ingredients. This Dutch baby can serve 4 people if you're a little stingy. I usually make one for 2 people because I like a big giant pancake. Always good. All right, give that a good whisk together. Now, the key to making a Dutch baby nice and puffy, just like with a Yorkshire pudding, is temperature. You need things to be at room temperature to make sure those eggs puff up as much as possible. So I have got 3/4 of a cup of warm milk here. That's gonna help keep those eggs nice and warm as well. So that's gonna go right on into the mix, as well as 4 room temperature eggs. Now, if you did not get up early thinking, hey, I gotta get these eggs out, let them come up to room temperature, don't worry. All you need to do is pop your eggs into like a little glass jar or a glass with just some warm tap water in there. That'll warm them up. Just pop them in there for about 5-10 minutes. It'll get them nice and kind of room temp, perfect for Dutch babying. All right. Also, I'm pretty sure Dutch babies are actually German, so more like Deutsch babies, I think is the term, but you know. All right. So 4 eggs go in. That's gonna lead to kind of almost like a souffled texture, really tasty. Now I'm gonna also go in with a little bit of vanilla extract, which just makes everything taste a bit better. About a teaspoon of that. And then you just gotta whisk this up. So just get those eggs beaten up, give that a good whisk together. And this is a really thin batter. It's almost like a crepe batter. That's what you're looking for. All right, that is looking absolutely beautiful. Now, for the apples for this beautiful Dutch baby, I'm going with a Macintosh. We've used a bunch of different apples this week. We've used Galas, we've used Cortlands, we used Granny Smiths, but I like a Macintosh for these because they're a little bit sweet, a little bit sour, and they also cook down really quickly. Now, this only goes in the oven for about 20 minutes, so that's gonna get a nice texture, but it's gonna stay a little bit like crispy, which is gonna be beautiful. All right, that is looking beautiful. It is like liquidy as anything, but that is what you want it to look like. So now we need to go back to the oven. So in my oven, I popped into the cold oven a cast iron skillet. Popped it in there and then heated it to 450 degrees. You need it that hot because that's gonna allow that puffing action to happen. So quickly as you can, pull that out. That's a smoking hot little guy, so be careful, don't touch it. I'm gonna add in about 3 tablespoons, 2 or 3 tablespoons of butter just to melt in. Now you can tell it's hot because that butter is starting to melt. Now I'm gonna go in with that beautiful batter, again, as quick as you can. Add that right on into the center. That is looking amazing. And now for those beautiful apples, I'm just gonna scatter those. I just cubed them up, scatter those right into the center, pop that back into the oven, Close the door and no peeking. That's what the oven light is for. Do not peek, because if you open up that oven, guess what? That Dutch baby is gonna be a flat little baby, and we don't want that. We want a nice puffy pancake. It's gonna be beautiful. Bake that off for about, I'd say, 18 to 20 minutes, or until it's golden brown and beautiful. While that does its thing, I'm gonna get to work on that syrup. Now, this is for someone, maybe you're not a fan of maple syrup, which in that case I don't understand, but that's okay. You do you. But this is a really simple syrup to make. It's really, really tasty. So the first thing I need in my pot is half a cup of brown sugar. I love the brown sugar. It gives you really nice molassesy flavor. You could use white sugar if you don't have brown sugar. That would work too. So that's going on in. Now you don't need the pan on, so. We're almost at Halloween. We're just getting a little spooky in here. Okay, so that's already caramelizing, which is totally fine. Woo! Now I'm gonna go get another pot. 1 second, I'll be back in a sec. I'm gonna ask my dumb waiter, and that's this handy little door. Dumb waiter, may I have a pot? Thank you so much. It's like here on the Good Stuff, it's almost like we have like is it Thing or Cousin It? I don't even remember, but we've got one of them. All right, so into my cool pot, I am gonna add in my half a cup of that brown sugar. That's gonna be beautiful. You know, we're like kind of live TV. That's what's happening. All right. Then into there, just to thicken this syrup up, I'm going in with 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Cornstarch is perfect. Right now, yes, it looks white, but when it boils up, it turns really clear, and it gives you that thickness and syrupy texture that you're looking for. Now to season that, I'm gonna go in with about a teaspoon of that classic cinnamon, which we all know and love so much. And then obviously, I need a little bit of nutmeg, so you gotta get your nutmeg out of your old pocket, and you're good to go. I feel like nutmeg is the name of the game when I'm making a fall recipe. It just tastes lemony. It almost tastes kind of like a donut. You know what I mean? Like an old-fashioned style donut. I'm gonna give this a whisk together just to combine that cornstarch and that brown sugar. And then I'm gonna go in with my apple cider. Now I'm using about 1.5 cups of apple cider. Anytime I buy apple cider, I drink like a glass. And then I feel like it was too expensive to drink anymore, so I just leave it in my fridge. So just drink your apple cider first off, or use it to make this delicious syrup. So go in with about that 1.5 cups of that cider. Give it a good whisk. And as you see right now, it's nice and thin, but you're gonna bring that up to a simmer, and that cornstarch is gonna thicken this into a beautiful syrupy consistency. To cut through some of that sweetness, I'm going in with a touch of lemon juice just to cut through. Bring that to a simmer, give that a stir about every maybe 30 seconds a minute, because you don't want it to clump up. That only takes about 5 to 6 minutes to get something that looks like this, which is a very, very exciting. Like, look at that consistency. It's syrupy, it's beautiful, and just for good measure, I'm going in with 3 tablespoons of butter, just to give you that beautiful high shine and gloss. This is it's almost like a caramel. If you want to put this on vanilla ice cream, crumble over like a little bit of a shortbread cookie, it's like an apple pie sundae. What a delight. All right, that looks perfect. I'm very excited about this Dutch baby. Okay, it's smelling golden brown, which is always a good sign. So let's take a gander. Remember, it went in really, really thin, and it comes out looking like this. Like, absolutely beautiful. Now, in addition, and yes, I eat half of this all to myself. It is so good. The key with the Dutch baby, in addition to that heat, that hot heat that you've got and those room temperature ingredients, is you gotta eat it quickly, because immediately it starts to deflate down. So we're just gonna cut a nice little slice. We've got those beautiful apples in there, that golden brown crust around the outside. It is puffy, it is delightful. I'm taking a very dainty piece today. It almost has the texture of like a creme caramel on the inside, or like a crepe. A little crispy on the bottom. Pop that onto a plate. Maybe a little bit of that delicious syrup right over the top. Like, are you kidding me? Absolutely stone cold stunner. All right, I'm gonna give this a taste because I can't resist. Oh my gosh, the middle is custardy. There's golden brown edges. You get all the things you want. Way easier than standing at a stove and flipping a bunch of flapjacks all morning. So. That is amazing. You better make it this weekend. Happy Apple Fest, everybody. What a delight. We gotta take. Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.